Are you tired of looking for ways to display your masks? Well, look no further. Stay tuned for this episode of Adventures in Mask Making. Hang 'em high. Alright you guys, so you've seen the design process of this. This is our wall hanger that we're going to use for our masks. Now I thought it'd be a good idea just to give you guys a rundown of why we decided to make it like this. Obviously you can do it however you want to do it. Whatever works best for you is always what I would recommend doing. You'll notice the overall size and design of this. This is made to fit our specific mask. Now, one thing to take note of here is that there's no flat surfaces anywhere around, correct? These are all circular, and that is why I made this vertical support here to be square. This way, whenever we're hanging it on the wall, we can use our level here, and we can get it level on the wall. We can put it on the side, or we could put it on the bottom, whichever way we need to do. But that will allow us to make sure that this looks correct on the wall. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And that's why I made these the way I did, with them protruding up, so that I can make sure I had enough surface to set the level on, and to make sure that this is a straight surface. I then looked to see what screws I was going to use to mount this to the wall. This all goes into preparation Always look and see how you're going to do this before you just jump into designing something. The likelihood of us hitting studs in the wall aren't really high. I knew I was going to be using some type of a drywall anchor, and if we hit a stud, that's fine. But I was looking at the anchors that I was going to use, and for those anchors I need to use number 8 screws. So I made the holes to fit a number 8 screw, and I made the top of the hole countersunk so that the head will fit down inside of the hole, and it'll give a nice appearance and nothing will be protruding out from the hole. Another thing to note here is on the top of the wall mount. We have this space cut out, and that's to allow for the foam that we put on the inside of our masks to sit here. It will sit here and it'll hold it from falling off the wall. That's the whole idea of this area. We also made a ridge along this edge so that that foam, even when the mask is up here, not only are we protecting it from coming back this way, but we're also preventing it from rotating left or right, clockwise, counterclockwise. This stop right here will prevent that from happening, that we've put on both sides. Then we've got the overall size. You may be thinking, well, all you really need is this for the wall. And you would be correct. That's all we need. However, I know that when we start to hang these on the wall, we're not going to be taking the best care. It's not like we're handling artwork that we're going to be putting into a museum. And the likelihood of when we hang it on the hanger, the mask that is, of us scratching the wall is pretty high. So I made this backing plate here so that the mask will hit it and not the wall. Over time, if this thing gets scratched up or whatever, we can simply pop it off the wall, make another one, and put it back on. I don't think that's going to be an issue with this, but this back part here is just to prevent it from scratching up the wall, and the shape is similar to the mask itself so that it doesn't stand out and look like it's something different. So I hope this gives you some ideas of how you guys want to do this. Just thought it would be a good idea to run through why we chose to do the design the way we did. Alright you guys, so you've seen the design phase of the mask wall hanger. That's for our smallest mask that we made for this video. And the idea is, this is our entertainment center here, and we're going to hang it up right in the center. Now what we're going to take into consideration here is the overall width of the entertainment center, find the center, and then we're going to put masking tape on the wall behind the entertainment center on both sides. We'll find our center on the wall, mark it with masking tape, so the center horizontally and then the vertical center. We'll mark that. What we're then going to do is we're going to find the center from the top of the ear to the bottom of the mask, and then we will mark that over onto our wall hanger, and that way whenever we put it on the wall we can center it and mount it to the wall. Alright you guys, so we've got our vertical tape going up to the ceiling, and this is in line with the edge of our entertainment center. Then what we did was we found the center, put a piece of tape along the center line. We have the right side edge of the tape going right down the center. Then what we did was we found the center vertically of the space, put this piece of tape, and then we measured down from both sides and put us a line right across the center of that tape where our center line is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some masking tape on the wall hanger itself, mark out where that needs to go on the wall, and then we'll start drilling our holes. Alright you guys, so we've marked our wall mount. We've got our center line coming down on the bottom, and on the top, the very top of the tape right here is actually the center of the overall mask, including the ears. Looks kind of weird because the center's at the top of this, but considering how large the ears are, that's why it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this against the wall, and we're going to use this line here just as a reference point to line it up with this center line on the wall here that we have, and we'll use also this line as a reference to the center line that's going vertical. We'll get these in place, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our screw through these holes here, mark the wall, we'll pull it off, then we'll drill our holes in the wall for the wall anchors, for the drywall anchors. Okay, you guys, so what we're gonna do is we've got our mark here, and we've got our tape as a reference for the center that we want to go by on the top of the wall mount. We've also got the edge of our tape here, so we've got our horizontal center, and then we've got our vertical center, a line we made across here. And then here's our screws. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our reference here, and then we're going to take our center reference here with the edge of the tape. Now that we have that, we're going to get our level and put it on here and see how we look. Okay, looks like it's a little off, which is no problem. That's why we've got the level. We'll move this a little bit till it's center. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our screw in. We'll put both screws in. We're going to use our screwdriver to just put a little bit of pressure in here to mark the hole. Now, one thing to note, I did make the holes a little bigger than the screws. And the reason I did that was so that we've got a little bit of play either way to get this lined up in case it fell a little bit out of level whenever we had it on the wall. So you can see our two holes now. Now we're going to drill these out with our drywall drill bit, specifically made for the wall anchors. And then we'll put this on the wall. So, quick note to make, whenever you purchase drywall anchors, they will typically come with a drill bit as well. If they don't, they will have instructions on the case of what size drill bit to use. So make sure you do that, because if you make the hole too big, this is going to be too loose, and the screw is just going to spin and it's going to give you a headache. Okay, now what we're going to do is, if you notice, our holes fell right in the center of this tape line, which we had marked as our center. Just going to pull this back, push these in. If you can't get them in with your fingers, then you can use a hammer. We're going to remove our tape from the mount itself. And then we're going to start putting these on the wall. Now what I like to do is I like to use a screwdriver first, just to make sure I get everything lined up. Now these screws ain't too bad. If they're really long, you could always use a drill bit to pull them in, and then when you get close, use your screwdriver, because you don't want to put too much force on them. But in this case, it's not too bad. So before I get it real tight, see it's still a little loose, I'm just going to double check with my level and see how we look. Right about there. So we've got it nice and level. Now we're going to just tighten this up with the level still on here. Now if you've got decent anchors, this should get pretty tight. Be definitely tight enough to hold a mask. There we have it. This ain't going anywhere. Alright. Alright, now we are going to hang the mask itself. So the way we made this, as we had stated, we've got a groove here that the foam on the back of our mask is going to sit in. And that's going to keep it locked onto the wall. So we'll just slide it back. And there we go. How do you think it turned out, guys? I think it looks pretty good. All in all, this took about 7 or 8 minutes to do, with explaining to you guys how to do it. If you were to try to do this on your own, it probably wouldn't take that long. If you've never done it before, take your time and everything will turn out just fine. So here's how it looks. All right, you guys, you've seen the video, you've seen the design, you've seen the work we put into hanging it on the wall and the overall outcome. Maybe this will give you some ideas of how to get those masks out of drawers, cabinets, off shelves, and display them for the pieces of art that they really are. If this video was helpful or entertaining in any way, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.